All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about a sport that somehow connects our most ancient ancestors to our greatest modern athletes. It's the story of swimming. And believe me, it's a wild journey that stretches back over 10,000 years.
So, think about this for a second. What in the world is the common thread between a prehistoric human painting on a cave wall and an athlete like Michael Phelps with a staggering 28 Olympic medals? Well, yeah, the answer is water, but how humanity went from simply surviving in it to absolutely dominating it, well, that's the real story we're going to get into today. So our story really kicks off at the very dawn of human history. Swimming wasn't just invented in some fancy modern pool. It was born out of pure necessity, and it's been evolving for thousands and thousands of years.
Just check out this timeline. We start with cave paintings from over 10,000 years ago, showing people swimming, probably just to survive. Now let's fast forward through almost all of recorded history to 1896. Swimming finally makes its debut at the first modern Olympics, but only for men. It actually took until 1912 for women to officially get to compete. So this wasn't just a journey from survival to sport. It was a really long road to inclusion, too.
Okay, so from those super ancient roots, swimming has just exploded into this massive global phenomenon. But what is it about moving through water that so many of us just love?
I think its appeal really comes down to this powerful double act. On one hand, it's one of the most popular ways to just have fun and cool off, right? From the beach to a backyard pool. But at the exact same time, it's one of the best full-body workouts you can possibly do. It engages pretty much every muscle you have with almost zero impact on your joints. That makes of pure fun and serious fitness, it's just so hard to beat.
Okay, so we get why it's popular. But how do the pros get so ridiculously fast? Let's dive into the actual science of what it takes to fly through the water.
This number right here, this is the peak of human speed in the water. We're talking 8 kilometers an hour, or about 5 miles per hour. Now, I know that might not sound super fast compared to running, but just think about this. You're pushing yourself through a substance that's nearly 800 times denser than air. It is an absolutely astonishing feat of power and technique.
And the key to unlocking that kind of speed is this stroke right here, the front crawl, which you probably know as freestyle. It's the fastest one by far. And that's because the combo of that flutter kick and the alternating arm pulls creates this constant, powerful forward motion. It's all about slicing through the water as efficiently as you possibly can.
Now here's a little tip that might feel totally wrong at first. One of the biggest keys to swimming efficiently isn't just about how you breathe in, it's about how you breathe out. The best competitive swimmers exhale the entire time their face is in the water. Why? Because it stops carbon dioxide from building up, it keeps their muscles relaxed, and it lets them take a super quick, explosive breath when they turn their head, messing up their form as little as possible.
And let's talk about a piece of gear that's a real unsung hero, the humble swim cap. Sure, it keeps the nasty chlorine out of your hair, but for a competitive swimmer, its most critical job is to cut down on drag. It makes their whole shape more hydrodynamic, more water-friendly. And that tiny little difference can be what separates a gold medal from a silver one. We're talking hundreds of a second here.
All right, so from those split-second victories to these absolutely epic journeys, swimmers have just shattered the limits of what we thought was humanly possible. Let's take a look at some of those unbelievable records.
I absolutely love this comparison because it just shows the insane range of the sport. On one end, you've got the 50-meter freestyle, just an all-out explosive sprint, where races are literally decided by the blink of an eye. And then you have the complete opposite, the longest recorded open water swim, an incredible 225 kilometers, or 140 miles, done by Veljko Rogošić. That's not a race of speed, that's a test of pure, relentless endurance.
And of course, there is no bigger stage to show off this incredible athleticism than the Olympic Games. This is where swimmers become absolute legends. 28. Just let that number sink in for a second. It's a number that represents the absolute peak of sustained excellence in the entire history of sports.
And of course, that number belongs to one person, Michael Phelps. He is the most decorated Olympian of all time, with 28 total medals. What's even crazier is that 23 of those are gold. It's this perfect storm of a body basically built for swimming and a legendary work ethic. It created a record that, honestly, might never be broken.
Now, for records like Phelps's to be legit, the stage itself has to be perfect. And Olympic pools are masterpieces of precision. They have to be exactly 50 meters long. We're talking down to the millimeter. Even the water temperature is super tightly controlled, somewhere between 25 and 28 degrees Celsius or 77 to 82 Fahrenheit. It's all to make sure that every single athlete, from every corner of the world, is competing on a totally identical field of play.
So we kind of end where we began, thinking about time. We've gone from simple cave paintings to these high-tech, perfectly calibrated pools. We've seen records fall that we never thought possible. And we've seen legends rise. And it leaves us with this one final fascinating question. After 10,000 years of progress, what will the next century of swimming even look like? What new heights of human achievement are still waiting for us, just under the surface?